It's almost eerie how some parrots can sound just like us, matching our tone, pitch, and even accents. But how do they do it? How can a bird, which doesn't even have vocal cords, speak like a human? It turns out that parrots are uniquely built for mimicry, and their ability to talk isn't just about making sounds, it's also about intelligence, social behavior, and even the way their brains are wired. To understand how parrots talk, we first need to look at how they produce sound. Unlike humans, who rely on vocal cords to create speech, birds use a completely different organ called the syrinx. The syrinx is located deep in a bird's chest, right where the trachea splits into the lungs. This structure is made up of membranes that vibrate when air passes through, creating sound. What's special about the syrinx is that it allows birds to control two separate sound sources at the same time. That means some birds can actually produce two different notes at once, a skill that helps them create complex calls and, in some cases, mimic human speech with incredible precision. Parrots take this a step further with their tongues. Most birds have small, stiff tongues that don't play a big role in shaping sound, but parrots have large, muscular tongues that they move around to modify airflow and shape different syllables, much like we do with our own mouths. This tongue movement is a major reason why parrots can imitate human speech so well. While most other birds, even other great mimics like crows and starlings, don't quite capture the same level of clarity. To truly understand their skill, we have to look inside their brains. Scientists have discovered that parrots have a highly developed song system, a set of brain structures that allow them to learn and imitate sounds. This is something they share with other songbirds, like canaries and robins, which learn songs from their parents. But parrots have something extra, a specialized region of the brain called the core and shell system. This unique brain structure gives them superior vocal learning abilities, helping them process and replicate sounds far better than most other birds. And then there's the big question: do parrots actually understand what they're saying, or are they just copying sounds randomly? The answer is a mix of both. Many parrots simply repeat words and phrases because they've learned that doing so gets them attention or food. But some parrots seem to have a much deeper understanding of language. The most famous example of this is Alex the African gray parrot, who was studied for decades by animal psychologist Dr. Irene Pepperberg. Alex learned over 100 words, but what made him truly remarkable was his ability to use those words in meaningful ways. He could identify colors, shapes, and numbers. He could even ask for things by name and express frustration when he didn't get what he wanted. One of the most impressive things Alex did was create his own word. He had learned the words for banana and cherry, but when he was given an apple for the first time, he called it a bannery. He had never heard the word apple before, so he invented a word based on what the fruit reminded him of. That's an astonishing level of cognitive ability, far beyond simple mimicry. But Alex wasn't the only parrot capable of this. Many African gray parrots have shown similar intelligence. One named Einstein, who lives at the Knoxville Zoo, can mimic not just human speech, but also environmental sounds like a laser gun, a spaceship, and even a crying baby. Some parrots have been observed stringing words together to form new sentences, suggesting that they aren't just copying, they're thinking about what they want to say. The answer lies in their natural social behavior. In the wild, parrots live in large flocks where communication is key. They use vocalizations to stay in touch with their group, warn each other of danger, and even form social bonds. Parrots don't just have fixed calls like some animals, they learn the calls of their flock mates and adjust their vocalizations to match their social group. When a parrot is kept as a pet, it doesn't have a flock to communicate with, so it does the next best thing. It mimics human speech. To a parrot, you're part of its flock, and talking is a way of bonding. It's not just about copying words, it's about connecting with you. That's why parrots don't just repeat random sounds all the time. They focus on words and phrases that get a reaction or lead to interaction. If you always laugh when your parrot says something funny, it's going to keep saying it because it knows that's how to get your attention. Not all parrots are equally good at talking. Some species are natural-born chatterboxes, while others barely learn more than a few words. The best talkers include African gray parrots, which are widely considered the most intelligent and articulate of all parrots. They can learn hundreds of words and even understand simple concepts. Budgerigars or budgies may be small but are actually capable of learning over 1,000 words, more than some larger parrots. Amazon parrots are known for their loud, clear voices and playful personalities. Indian ringneck parrots are great at learning phrases and have a charming, almost robotic way of speaking. But what about other animals? Can any non-parrots talk like this? Surprisingly, yes. While parrots are by far the best at mimicking human speech, they're not the only animals that can do it. Mynah birds, which are related to starlings, are actually some of the most convincing mimics of human speech, sometimes even more so than parrots. Crows and ravens can also learn words, and in some cases, their voices sound eerily human-like. Even some mammals can mimic human sounds. Dolphins, elephants, and even seals have been trained to copy human speech patterns. One of the most famous non-parrot mimics was Nock the beluga whale, who lived at a U.S. Navy research facility. One day, a diver heard what sounded like a human voice coming from the water. It turned out to be Nock, who had figured out how to mimic human speech patterns all on his own. He even adjusted the pressure in his nasal cavity to change the pitch of his voice, much like humans do with their vocal cords. Parrots remain the best at it, thanks to their unique combination of intelligence, vocal control, and social nature. Parrots can also learn from one another. If you have multiple parrots, they can teach each other words, sometimes even developing their own variations of human speech patterns. Some parrots raised in environments where they hear multiple languages can even switch between them, recognizing different voices and adjusting their speech accordingly. This shows just how adaptable and intelligent these birds really are. So the next time you hear a parrot talking, remember, it's not just a party trick. It's the result of millions of years of evolution, shaping these birds into some of the most intelligent and social creatures on the planet. They're not just copying sounds, they're trying to connect with us in the only way they know how. And that's pretty amazing. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more fascinating animal facts. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.